Greg Frank, the Credit Educator here with Superior Credit Care, teaching you how to defeat the debt collectors. Now, if you've ever received a collection phone call, you should be familiar with this statement. This is an attempt to collect the debt, and any information obtained will be used for that purpose. Now, the first thing you need to know is that that statement is required by the Fair Debt Collections Practices Act to be included in every single communication from a debt collector, whether a letter or a phone call. But more importantly, that statement, this is an attempt to collect the debt and any information obtained will be used for that purpose, is referred to in the collection industry as your Mini Miranda Rights. Now, I'm sure you've seen cop shows on TV where a suspect is being arrested and the first thing the police officer says to them is, "You have the right to remain silent." That's what's called your Miranda Rights. Now, is the light bulb going off? When dealing with debt collectors, you have the right to remain silent. You do not need to speak to them. You do not have to answer the phone. And if you do answer the phone, you don't have to tell them any information that they don't already know. Most of the time, unless and until you have some tangible agreement or deal to make with them, speaking to them on the phone serves absolutely no purpose whatsoever. But one of the biggest mistakes that people make is that every time this rings, they feel compelled to answer it. Now, I'm sure you have caller ID. So if you have things in collections and the phone rings and you look at the caller ID and it says toll-free call, unknown caller, unknown name, out of area, restricted, private caller, or anything like that, why in the world would you even answer the phone? If it's something important, that's what voicemail's for. But too many people just answer the phone no matter what. And next thing they know, they're getting sucked into a conversation with a debt collector that serves absolutely no purpose, and they get talked into paying something that they probably shouldn't pay. Now, the other thing is that this phone, my home phone, I can ignore because I'm not home all the time. But this phone, oh boy, this is attached to my hip. Can't see it right now, it's down on my hip, but it's attached to my hip most of the time. So, rule number one, never ever give a debt collector your cell phone number, because then they can badger you day and night and you can't get away from it. So remember, you have the right to remain silent. You do not need to answer the phone ever, unless and until you have something important to communicate with them, in which case you should be the one who calls them, not the other way around. Now, if you do happen to answer the phone, there are certain things that you should say and other things that you should not say, and we're going to cover that on the next video. So stick around.